It's late. Your phone lights up. Not with her name, just silence again. You open the chat anyway. You scroll back to the last message you sent, reading it like there's some hidden clue you missed. That voice in your head gets louder. Did I say too much? Did I come on too strong? Was she losing interest the whole time? Why does this always happen to me? Was I just not enough? Here's the truth nobody says clearly. She didn't ghost you because you weren't enough. She ghosted because closeness started feeling like pressure inside her nervous system. You're not crazy. And no, man, this doesn't mean you're broken. Most guys go through this exact confusion, and nobody ever explains what's actually happening underneath it. By the end of this video, you're going to understand why avoidant people disappear, what was really happening in her head, and how to stop turning her withdrawal into a verdict on your worth. Let's get into it. Most guys believe ghosting means one simple thing. She lost attraction. She found someone better. I failed. But the real truth is deeper than that. And honestly, it changes everything once you see it. Most guys think attraction dies because they said the wrong thing. But with an avoidant woman, the shift usually happens because of what intimacy starts to feel like in her body. She senses the connection getting real. Her energy shifts. She feels a wall go up. Her gut tells her, this is getting too close. This is getting too exposing. I need space. That's the part most men miss. Avoidant withdrawal is not always a clean reflection of your value. A lot of the time, it's a regulation strategy. Distance helps her feel back in control. Silence helps her avoid the discomfort of emotional closeness. Pulling away becomes easier than staying present. And here's the thing. Most guys respond by chasing harder, explaining more, proving more, texting more. But the second you start trying to force clarity out of someone who regulates through distance, she doesn't feel more connected. She feels more pressure. And when she feels pressure, attraction doesn't deepen. It contracts. So this video is not about decoding every mixed signal. It's about seeing the deeper pattern. Because once you understand that ghosting often says more about her capacity for closeness than your worth as a man, you stop collapsing inward. You get grounded. You get calm. And that's when your whole mindset starts changing. 7 truths most guys completely miss about why the avoidant ghosted. 1. The trigger was intimacy, not inadequacy. Here's the part nobody talks about. Most guys assume ghosting happens when attraction is low. But a lot of avoidant people pull away right when the connection starts feeling more real, not less. Most guys mishandle this by obsessing over performance. They replay every text, every date, every pause in conversation, trying to find the exact moment they turned her off. But the deeper truth is that avoidant wiring often reacts strongest when closeness starts creating emotional exposure. She feels the bond tightening. She feels expectations forming. She feels the possibility of needing someone. And that's exactly when her brain may push her to create distance. Wrong approach. You think, she was opening up, so we were safe. I just need to push a little more and get answers. Right approach. You realize the fact that it felt real may be exactly why she disappeared. Not because you were too little, not because you were unworthy, not because some other guy magically had a better opener, but because real connection can feel threatening to someone who equates closeness with losing control. And when you understand that, bro, you stop personalizing every silence as proof you failed. And when you do that, you instantly feel more grounded, and she no longer defines your value from a distance. 2. She didn't need less care. She needed less pressure. And here's where it gets interesting. Most guys here don't pressure her and think that means being cold, detached, or emotionally unavailable. That's not it. Most guys swing to extremes. They either over-pursue or they try to become emotionally dead. But the real truth is this. Avoidant people are highly sensitive to anything that feels like emotional demand. Not care, not warmth, not genuine interest. Demand. That means the energy behind your behavior matters more than the behavior itself. A simple, "had a great time with you," can feel light and effortless. Or it can feel heavy if it carries the vibe of, "please validate me now." Your energy is the message before your mouth even opens. Wrong approach. "Why are you being distant? Did I do something? Just tell me where I stand." Right approach. "I enjoyed seeing you. If you're free this week, let me know." Same basic intention, different nervous system impact. The first one corners her. The second one leaves oxygen in the room. And here's the thing. When her brain starts saying, "he needs something from me right now," she pulls back. But when it says, "he's genuine, calm, and not trying to trap me," she can actually breathe. This isn't about becoming passive. It's about becoming grounded. These aren't tactics. This is just what a calm man naturally does. And when you do that, she feels less boxed in, and that makes your presence feel magnetic instead of heavy. 3. Chasing for closure usually confirms her exit. This is the one most guys completely miss. When she ghosts, your instinct is to close the gap, to fix it, to get one clear answer so your mind can finally relax. Most guys think closure comes from one more text, one more explanation, one more honest conversation. But with an avoidant person, chasing closure often becomes the very thing that makes her double down on distance. Why? Because she already associates emotional intensity with overwhelm. So the more you pursue resolution from a dysregulated place, the more her gut says, "this is exactly what I was trying to escape." Wrong approach. 3 follow-up texts, a long paragraph, then a final, "I guess I meant nothing to you." Right approach. 1 clean message. "Hey, I enjoyed getting to know you. If you're not in it, no hard feelings. Take care." That message does something powerful. It brings dignity back into the room. It tells her, without saying it directly, "I'm open, but I'm not collapsing." And that matters, because her internal monologue changes. Instead of, "he's panicking, he wants me to regulate his emotions," it becomes, "he's calm, he's not trying to force anything." That difference is huge. Conversation isn't a courtroom, it's a dance. The moment you start arguing for your worth, the rhythm dies. And when you stop chasing closure like oxygen, she feels your strength, and you finally feel your own. 4. Avoidants often mistake calm love for lost spark. But here's what changes everything. A lot of avoidant people confuse emotional safety with boredom. That sounds harsh, but it explains so much. Most guys assume consistency automatically creates deeper attraction. Yet for someone wired around distance, peaceful intimacy can feel unfamiliar. And what feels unfamiliar can feel wrong. If she's used to chaos, ambiguity, or emotional spikes, your grounded energy may not register as thrilling at first. It may register as quiet, predictable, too real. Most guys mishandle this by trying to become more dramatic. They pull back to create anxiety. They act mysterious. They play games. But that only builds unstable chemistry, not lasting attraction. Not loud confidence. Not fake confidence. Not flexing at the gym confidence. But quiet, grounded, "I know who I am" confidence. That's the energy she may not understand immediately, but it's the only kind that's real. Wrong approach. Disappearing to trigger her, posting for attention, making her jealous. Right approach. Staying warm, direct, and self-respecting without performing. Because when she feels calm with you, part of her may think, "why doesn't this feel intense enough?" But intensity and intimacy are not the same thing. One is fireworks. The other is firewood. One burns hot and fast. The other keeps you warm all night. And when you embody the second one, even if she can't hold it, your energy leaves an imprint. That's when she starts replaying the connection in her head, because real calm feels rare in a world full of chaos. 5. Your need to be chosen can make you easy to leave. Here's the uncomfortable truth, man. If you secretly needed her response to feel okay about yourself, she probably felt that. Maybe not consciously, but she felt it. Most guys focus on words. Women feel energy first. If you were texting from anxiety, showing up from fear, or overgiving because you wanted to lock her in, that creates a subtle pressure in the connection. She feels responsible for something bigger than just getting to know you. She feels like your emotional center of gravity is drifting toward her. That's heavy, even if you never said it out loud. Wrong approach. Constantly checking for reassurance. So, are we good? Did I do something? Why do I feel like you're pulling away? Right approach. Staying connected to your own life, your mission, your habits, your standards, your peace. Because her internal monologue changes fast depending on your state. If your vibe says, "Please pick me so I can feel secure," her brain says, "This feels like pressure." If your vibe says, "I like you, but I'm already solid," her brain says, "Something about him feels different." And here's the thing. This isn't a trick to look less needy. This is identity work. This is what you're becoming. A man whose presence is calm because his self-worth is not on loan to someone else's attention. Silence between words is like silence between musical notes. That's where the rhythm lives. And when your energy stops reaching, she feels space instead of strain, and that's emotional caffeine for her brain. 6. Ghosting hurts more when it touches an old wound in you. And here's where it gets deeper. What broke you wasn't just her leaving. It was the meaning your mind attached to it. Most guys don't realize this. They think they're reacting to the event, but usually they're reacting to the story. She disappeared, so I'm forgettable. She pulled away, so I was never enough. She ghosted, so I must be missing something every other guy has. That story is the real damage, and if you don't challenge it, you'll carry it into every future connection. You'll overtext faster, overthink harder, attach sooner. You'll start bracing for abandonment before anything even happens. Wrong approach. Turning one person's avoidance into a universal truth about your desirability. Right approach. Saying, "Her withdrawal triggered something painful in me, but it does not define me." That's power. Real power. Most guys want methods, but mindset is the root. Because if you still believe her silence reveals your worth, you'll keep bleeding confidence into every interaction. And women feel that instantly. Her ghosting may have exposed your wound, but exposure is not destruction. It's information. It shows you exactly where your confidence still depends on external proof. And when you heal that, you stop dating like a man asking for permission. You start showing up with a grounded presence that makes her feel your strength before you even speak. 7. The real win is not getting her back. It's getting yourself back. Final truth. And this one matters most. Most guys watch videos like this hoping for one outcome. How do I make the avoidant come back? But that question keeps you trapped in the same frame. It still puts her at the center. It still makes your peace dependent on her movement. Most guys want reactivation. The better move is reclamation. Getting your focus back, getting your standards back, getting your nervous system back. Because whether she returns or not, the man you become after this decides what happens next in your life. Wrong approach. Waiting, lurking, decoding stories, keeping the door emotionally half open for months. Right approach. Accepting the data, respecting the reality, and turning inward long enough to rebuild your calm. Not bitterness, not revenge, not "I'll show her" energy, but clean detachment, real self-respect, the kind that says, "I can feel this loss without abandoning myself." And here's the thing. That energy is rare, because most men either cling or numb out. But when you stay open and grounded, you become dangerous in the best way. Magnetic, effortless, real. Her brain may eventually say, "Why do I keep thinking about him?" But by then, you're no longer living for that sentence. You're living from your own center. And that's the shift that turns pain into power and interest into genuine respect. So no, this was never just about memorizing signs. And it definitely wasn't about learning some slick tactic to outplay an avoidant woman. This is about becoming the kind of man who can experience connection, disappointment, and silence without turning any of it into a collapse of self. When you internalize this, you stop performing. You stop begging for clarity from people who can't give it. You stop treating ghosting like a final judgment on your value. And you start becoming more calm, more grounded, more real. Because the man you're becoming doesn't need every woman to stay. He just needs to stop abandoning himself when one leaves. Stop chasing closure. Become the man who creates it within himself. And if this hit home, the next video you need is the one on why avoidant women come back only after you detach. Because once you understand that pattern, you'll never confuse delayed interest with real emotional availability again. Grounding note. The psychology framing in this script aligns with research and educational sources showing that attachment avoidance is linked to discomfort with emotional closeness, withdrawal and deactivating strategies under intimacy or conflict, and greater use of distancing rather than direct communication in relationships. Frontiers in Psychology. Simply Psychology. Helpguide.org. digital.car.chula.ac.th. If you want, I can also turn this into a more viral, darker Alex Hormozy-style version, a softer, premium male self-improvement channel version, or a full YouTube production pack with thumbnail text, title options, B-roll cues, and retention edits.